I don't see Miss Reinhardt.
I'm here. It's just my phone's broken, so it doesn't allow my video. If I turn it off, this is what it looks like.
May I have an announcement of appearances, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Robert Nelson appears in person via Zoom with his attorney, Tessa Wright.
May it please the court, the respondent Stacy Reinhardt appears with her counsel Heather Fletcher, both appearances by Zoom.
Last time we got together, the parties were working on a child support order. Did we get that worked out, or do we need some help from the court?
I think we're probably going to need some assistance from the court today, Your Honor. I think a lot of the issues have been resolved. The worksheets that both of us submitted were very similar on many of the issues, but I think one of the things that's still hanging out there is the insurance.
You want testimony on that, or do you want to proffer the issue?
I would actually just proffer, Your Honor, if Ms. Wright is good with that.
That's fine, Judge. I was going to make sure, we're good on the other figures, and if that's our only issue, I think we can proffer that.
Okay, well, let's go through and see if we have agreement on the other issues.
I think we have the incomes agreed. Do you agree, Ms. Fletcher?
Yes, I think both worksheet or all the worksheets show that that his income is $58,857 and Ms. Reinhardt's is $36,400.
And I would remind the parties that we are broadcasting. So if you believe we're getting into confidential information, let the court know. Okay.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And I agree with that. I think we've all agreed as well that Ms. Reinhardt claims the child on her tax return, so he has that credit. Everyone also agrees that my client pays child support on another child. I was looking for that figure on your worksheet, Heather, but I have that at $250 a month.
It's on C2. It should be 205. We did two worksheets, one with having the two children on there, and then the other, because that came off of his pay stub. And I can tell the court or Ms. Wright how that was calculated, but we had it at 205 and 1 penny, but then we just rounded it to the 205. But then it's my understanding that the one child is the older one could be turning 18 in 2025. And so we did a second worksheet with just him paying on the one child. But I don't know when the other child turns 18.
Okay, and then
Is there a support obligation beyond turning age 18?
that I don't know, and if I could have Robert just tell us when the child turns 18 and or graduates high school. Is that okay?
My son will be.
Is that okay, Your Honor, for Mr. Nelson to?
It is.
Okay, go ahead, Robert.
He will graduate high school in 2028. He turns 18 in 2027 at April the 16th.
Well, I was thinking, and I'm a little confused because I thought the one, Your Honor, according to the DRA paragraph D, that's where we got the dates. One was 2007, one was 2011.
Do you have a child born in 2007?
Adion was born in 2007.
Okay.
He'll be 18 next year, but he was held back. He was held back a year in school, which means he'll have an extra year in school.
So would he graduate, Robert, in May 2026?
May 26th. No,
Okay.
he was graduating May 27th. He will not
Okay.
graduate until he's 19 years old. I will check to make sure that that's correct, but I do believe that during his first grade year, he was held back a year.
Well, by my math, if he was born in 2007, was he born
He'll
in the
be
spring
25
or
and
fall?
he was born in April.
April?
Yes, sir.
So he'll be 19 years old in the spring of 26.
Correct. My apologies.
But he's not graduating in 2025.
Not that I'm aware of.
What county is that child support case out of, Robert?
I believe it's in I can't actually recall the county. It's in Ulysses, Kansas.
Okay, so it's Grant County.
Okay.
And I think the figure, Your Honor, that we took that from was directly off of Mr. Nelson's pay stubs was how we calculated that at the 205. And I
Are
know
you
the
using-
last, I'm sorry.
Are you using one or two children then?
We're using the 2 children, Your Honor, and it's on the worksheet that we filed. I'll refer to it as worksheet 1. It's the one that at the top of it, it shows petitioner paying child support for 2 other children.
Okay.
So if you skip down to that line C2, that's where the 205 is. And I
Got
know
it.
that Ms. Wright's had a 250 in it, so last time we were here, we weren't sure if that number was just transposed.
Inverted. Yeah. Miss Wright, are you agreeing or disagreeing on the 205 figure?
I believe it is 205 based on the actual withholding from his check.
Okay.
Judge, I think the only other issue is the health insurance. And I might need to ask Robert questions on that. I'm not sure if they're saying he doesn't have it or if they don't agree with the amount or where we're at with that.
Sure. Look that up here. Just if the court wants me to respond, I can do that now, or I can let Ms. Wright.
If
Yeah, you've got all zeros in the health insurance
On our worksheet, yes, Your Honor.
and Miss Wright, you believe there should be some numbers in there.
yeah.
Okay.
And I provided an exhibit at the before the last hearing with that breakdown, but I can go ahead and ask Robert questions on that since that's our only issue.
Okay. Mr. Nelson, would you raise your right hand, please? You solemnly swear and or affirm that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, subject to the penalties for perjury in the state of Kansas?
I do.
Are you currently in
You
the
just froze.
Are you currently in the state of Kansas?
Yes, I am.
Okay, and you can put your hand down. Go ahead, Miss Wright.
All right. Your name is Robert Nelson, right?
Correct.
Okay, and I want to ask you about the health insurance for the child that you have with Stacy Reinhardt. Is that through your employer?
It is.
Does it cover you and this child?
It does.
Is it in effect at this time already?
It is.
Okay. How long have you had health insurance approximately for the child?
For the last 7 years.
Okay. I had the math breakdown here, but you did provide me, and I've provided it to the court as an exhibit, a kind of breakdown of your plan and the cost. Do you recall reviewing that?
I do.
So is your plan going to be for employee and child,
Correct.
or is it employee and family? Is this just you and one child?
Employee and family. For
Okay.
children, employee and children.
So I show, do you pay $38.76 for employee and children? Right?
No.
Weekly, I'm sorry. Is that correct?
No. I believe it's 80. Yeah, around that much, yes, ma'am. I think it's $87 every 2 weeks.
Okay, so I have it at $38.76 per week for you and the children. For you, let me back up. Trying to review my math from the last time. Do you believe that the appropriate credit is $188.80 monthly for this child on insurance?
About.
So in backing up, you and the child plan is $43.57 a week, and you alone is $38.76 a week. Does that sound right?
Yes, ma'am.
So really for the child, it's, if we subtract that, or look at that, it's $43 for 52 months. My math on that,
2 weeks.
it's, yep, for 52 weeks, so it's $2,265. Divide that by 12 is how we got 188, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you know if the child uses that insurance?
She has.
Okay. There's no reason to believe that Stacy's unaware that you have that coverage, correct?
None at all. No.
All right. Yep. So with that, I guess I don't have any other questions on that.
Okay. And I was a little confused, Miss Wright.
It was
Did
very
you-
confusing.
did you-
Sorry about that.
Did you say for him and the children, he pays a total of $43.57 a week? Or is the children an additional $43.57 a week?
Additional.
Okay. So it's additional, Judge, and I'm sorry. The way
Okay.
the way I got to my number is 43.57 times 52 weeks divided by 12. And we would submit that's extremely reasonable cost anyway for one child for insurance. He's had the insurance for 7 years. I don't know why he wouldn't get that credit.
You're paying just over $82 a week for insurance.
Yes, sir.
And that broken down, 43.57 for the kids, 38.76 for you.
That's my understanding.
Your Honor, I have no objection. If it did, Ms. Wright, did you send the insurance exhibit to the court?
I did. It would have been, excuse me, emailed before the last hearing.
I have no objection to that being admitted if the court wants to have that in front of it to look at. I have no issue with that. Because I do have some cross-examination questions for Mr. Nelson on this.
That's the one that you had marked as Exhibit B.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have that in front of you, Miss Fletcher?
I do, Your Honor.
And do you have that, Miss Wright?
I do.
Okay. Go ahead, Miss Fletcher.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Nelson, are you familiar with the exhibit that your counsel submitted regarding the insurance costs?
I believe so.
Okay. And on that, do you have a copy of that in front of you by chance?
No, I do not.
Okay. Well, on that, the court has it and your attorney has this also. So on that document, it says that if you are paid bi-weekly, multiply the rates above by 2 to find your cost per paycheck. Are you paid bi-weekly?
I am.
Okay. So on that form, it shows that employee plus children is $65 for medical. Does that sound accurate?
I'm not sure. I mean, that information was not, I was not allowed to receive that information. It was sent directly to my corporate office.
Okay. If you, do you have access to your pay stubs?
I do.
Okay. Your attorney provided me with today with your most recent pay stub, which was from January 1st of 25 through 1/14 of 25. Would that sound
Okay.
accurate? The time frame?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
And if I told you on that pay stub, it says medical under pre-tax deductions, it says medical $130. Would that sound accurate?
About, yes.
Okay. And if that insurance exhibit that your attorney provided shows $65 under employee and children, then to times that by 2, that would be $130. Would you agree with that?
I would.
Okay. On your pay stub, it says dental at $28.04. Would that sound accurate?
It would.
On your exhibit as to the costs of insurance, it says dental for employee and children is $14.02. So you times that times 2, and that's $28.04. Would you agree with that?
I would.
Okay. And for vision, your pay stub shows $6.63. Does that sound familiar?
It does.
So on that exhibit, it shows vision for employee and children at $3.31. Times that times 2 would be the $6.63. Does that sound correct?
It would.
Okay. So if we take the cost of what's coming out of your paycheck, the $130, $28.04, and $6.63, that adds up to $164.67. Does that sound accurate?
Okay, repeat that.
Taking that 130, the 28.04, and the $6.63, add those all together, and it comes up to 164.67.
Okay.
All right. Then your employee cost on that exhibit shows for just the employee, it's $46 for the health times 2. That'd be $92. Would that sound accurate?
46 times 2.
Yes.
It's 92.
Yep. Then your dental for the employee only is $6.10. So if you times that times 2, that's $12.20. Would you agree with that?
Okay.
And then for vision, it's $1.66 for just the employee. So times that times 2, and it's $3.32. When I total that up, that's $107.52 for the employee cost. Does that sound accurate to you?
I suppose, yes.
Okay. So if we take the employee plus children times 26 pay periods, that adds up to $4,281.42 divided by 12, and that's $356.79 for employee plus children per month. Are you following me?
I'm here.
Okay. If we take the employee cost alone, same math, 26 pay periods divided by 12, that's $232.96 a month. Okay, you following that?
I'm following.
So when we subtract the employee cost from the children and employee cost, I come up with $128 or $123.83 per month that is attributable to the children on this policy. Do you understand that? That's my figure.
I mean, I followed you throughout your entire, through your entire breakdown. I can't,
Okay.
I can't,
So I want to ask, regarding the number of children that are on this policy, is it your testimony that the only child that is covered under employee and children is the child that you have with Ms. Reinhardt?
That would negate the term children.
Right. So how many children are covered under this policy besides?
3,
Is that 3 in addition to the child that you have?
2,
with Ms.
including
Reinhardt?
her, makes 3.
Okay. So we need to take that. You understand that you're only allowed credit for the child that is on this worksheet for the child, for the cost to the child between you and Ms. Reinhardt. Do you understand that?
I don't understand a lot of this, man, but I mean, I'm okay with how this works.
Okay. So if you're saying if there's 3 children on there, then I will do the math very quickly here. 123.83 divided by 3, that's $41.28. So rounding it to $41 would be the cost just for your child with Miss Reinhardt. Does that make sense to you? And you're asking for credit on your worksheet and what you just testified to of $188.80 monthly. That's a pretty big difference. Would you agree?
Again, ma'am, I'm not a tax expert. I have no understanding of a lot of these things. So
Okay. With regard to this insurance, are you court ordered to have
No.
that insurance in place
no, I'm not.
for none of the children or for just
For
the
none
child?
of the children.
Okay. So that's just something that you chose to do, correct?
I'm their parent.
Okay. Now, are you aware that the child is covered under can care?
I can't speak on it.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
I can't speak on it.
You'll have to
My daughter
repeat
has
that,
been under
Mr.
my
Nelson.
insurance. My daughter was here prior to going back to live with me. My daughter has always been covered under my
Mr. Nelson, I'm not hearing you.
Hello?
There you are.
Okay, that's better. I didn't hear any of that last answer.
Mhm.
I said I could not speak on Mrs. Reinhardt's situation with insurance. My daughter was here with me prior to any of this taking place, and she was not covered under anything other than my insurance. I don't know what has been done since she's left here.
So it's your testimony that this child has not been covered under can care since birth. Is that
It
accurate?
is my testimony that I am not aware of it.
But you are not court
Again, I
ordered.
can't speak to what Mrs. Reinhardt did for insurance, but my daughter has been covered under my insurance since her birth. So I would have not applied for can care.
Okay. I don't have any further questions regarding the insurance, Your Honor.
Redirect, Ms. Wright.
Robert, do you remember whether your Grant County case ordered you to have insurance on those 2 children?
Again, no.
Okay, and
I'm sorry, go ahead.
that's good. And then do you remember whether or not you were given any kind of credit on that child support amount for your insurance that you do have on those children?
No idea.
Okay, that's fair. I think I don't have any other questions, Judge.
If you'll check the math, or do you have any redirect or recross, Ms. Fletcher?
I do not, Your Honor. I can look at my notes regarding the math if I need to.
So and to make it a little easier, I agree with Ms. Fletcher that the monthly amount, when we look at it with that spreadsheet, should be like the 123 or whatever for the children only. I just think he should be given credit for that because it's that amount regardless of one child or looks like however many. And he's had that insurance since the child was born. If the court splits that into thirds, that's fine, but I would go ahead and agree to change my number from 188 to the 123. I had 124, so whatever, 123, whatever.
Well, and Your Honor, our position on that is, and I would agree with the 124. However, I will not agree that he gets credit for the entirety of that, as I can certainly put Ms. Reinhardt on and we can talk about CanCare, but this child is covered under CanCare and has been for, my understanding is for several years. The children that are on Mr. Nelson's DRA are considerably older than this child. So if he's had this policy in place, then those older children would have been covered under that before this child was even born, would be my understanding from just the math here.
I've only been employed there 7 years.
My math basically shows that he pays $65 a week to include the children on his insurance, correct?
No, Your Honor, he would pay, well, $65 for just the health.
Okay,
But he's paid bi-weekly, so that's where the 130 came in.
well, but this is a weekly cost.
Right, and if you see the note below, it says, note, if you are paid bi-weekly, multiply the rates above by 2.
And that gives you a paycheck amount, but I'm looking at the cost per week.
Right, the 65 for the health, the 1402 for dental, and the 331. That's for employee plus children.
So it's $82 a week total,
Right, without backing out the cost for the employee.
right? And that's covering 3 kids. Costs him $27 per kid per week.
Your Honor, did you, in that 82, did you back out the cost of the employee?
I didn't add the cost of the employees. I just added the cost for the kids.
Right, but I mean, out of that total, the 65, I just want to make sure I'm following here. 65.
The cost for the children are $65 for the health insurance, $14 for the one, and $3 for the other.
Correct, which is
Which is
82.
$82. Divide that by 3 kids, which is roughly $27 a kid.
Right.
27 times 52 is 1504, divided by 12 would be roughly $125.
But Your Honor, that is employee plus children. His employee cost has to come out of that.
Well, if you take employee plus children,
That's what those costs are. It says employee plus children. So the employee cost is the 46 plus 6 plus, I guess we can call it 2 because it's 166. The employee cost is 54. And employee plus children, if it's 82, we have to take that 54 from the 82. Then divide it by 3.
Okay,
Which is $9.33.
$9.30,
Yeah, it's 82 minus 54 is 28, divided by 3 is $9.3333, which I think comes out to $39 on the 52 weeks divided by 12.
yeah, I come up just right at $40. That's the amount he's spending for that child. I understand that there is can care, but child is also covered by his insurance and he gets credit for that based on what he's paying for that child, which is right at 40 a month. So if you put that into the equation on the child support, you have Bradley up and running, Miss Fletcher. Can you drop that number in?
I do not, Your Honor. I do not have it on this computer. It's in another office.
Okay,
Same for me, but we can, now that we know the number, Judge, we can drop that in and
yeah,
get
you
that.
can drop in. He's gonna get a $40 a month credit for what he's paying for that child on his insurance.
Okay.
And I understand that there's can care involved, but bottom line is that's what he's paying for that child. Is 40 a month for health insurance. So you need to put that into the equation. Okay. It is based on his paying for 2 other children. What other variable do we have to decide?
I think we had the rest of it agreed on.
Okay,
On the worksheet, yes, I believe that would be accurate. I think that was the main difference on the worksheet, Your Honor. The other issue is the effective date of this. I don't think that has been established. I know that the petition was filed, the petition for this requesting determination of custody, child support, et cetera, was filed in October of 2023. And we're going to request that this be retroactive to the November 1st of 2023, Your Honor. Which would then also bring up the issue of the arrears and additional withholding on that.
so that was filed prior to the transfer of venue to Ellis County, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Because
Well,
that was
yes.
July of 24, but the motion itself
Was filed on October, let me look here. October 5th of 2023, Your Honor.
Judge, on the arrears, I need to probably prepare something for what my clients paid, cash or whatever in the meantime.
Well, if it's, Your Honor,
has she agreed to how much she has been paid, if she's been paid?
no, she hasn't, to my knowledge, she hasn't been paid anything. We can certainly ask her.
Going to say we can take that issue up if you'd like, Judge, or
And I'm looking back, and in the October 5th motion for temporary orders, it includes child support as paragraph number 4. So that would make the effective date of child support as of November 2023.
Correct, Your Honor, and that is what we're requesting.
Any argument regarding that?
I don't disagree. I think that's pretty standard. I just, if we're calculating the actual amount, I can try to question my client on what he's paid, or we can try to supplement that.
Well, why don't you question him and then Ms. Fletcher can question her client and we'll see if we can reach a number, if any. Okay?
Okay.
So you're still under oath, Mr. Nelson. Go ahead, Ms. Wright.
And just, Ms. Fletcher, your client has sent several messages to the whole group. If you want to tell her to stop sending messages, I don't think she realizes it's going to everyone. All right, sir, go ahead and talk and let me make sure I can hear you. What's your name?
My name is Robert Nelson.
It's still pretty choppy.
Can you lean in towards your speaker? I think when you're closer to the speaker, we get a better result.
My name is Robert Nelson.
Okay.
A little better. Robert, have you paid money to Stacy since November 2023 for this child? I'm sorry?
I have
Do you pay that in a money app or cash or check or what?
Cash App.
Cash app? Okay. Do you have a set amount that you send every month?
I send her whatever she asked me for.
Couldn't hear you again, Robert.
I send her whatever she requests.
Okay. Is that the only way you pay her?
Unless we're together. If we're together, I give her cash. If we're not together, I cash up her what she requests.
When's the last time you did that, Cash App?
I've been 3 weeks ago for pizza.
He's breaking up. I'm not
Yeah.
hearing him.
I believe that would have been about 3 weeks ago for a pizza.
Do you have any idea the amount that is an average of what you've sent every month?
No, ma'am.
Could you get me the Cash App, ledger to show
Receipt?
those payments?
I can.
Judge, I have no more questions, and I think it'd be easier to provide it that way, and that way we have a better amount.
Ms. Fletcher, do you have cross?
Well, I guess I just need to clarify, is Mr. Nelson, are you indicating that you send money to or provide money to Miss Reinhardt every month since November of 2023 for the purposes of child support for your daughter or providing
I
support?
would say it goes back to 2022.
So, but your testimony is you have sent Miss Reinhardt money through this Cash App every month since November of 2023.
I didn't say every month. I would say it upon request. I never said every month. I said I send her money as she requests.
So if
Roughly,
she
that's around
ask,
every month.
okay, so if she doesn't ask you for money, you don't send it.
Unless my daughter asks me for it, no.
And you said you sent money about 3 weeks ago for a pizza, correct?
Correct.
Okay, how much was that?
About $34, I believe.
And did you send money for Christmas?
Of course I did.
Okay. Outside of those two amounts, what other money have you sent in the last 6 months?
believe I've sent her $100 a couple of times. I believe I've sent her $50. I believe, again, anytime she requested she receive money, I send her money.
Okay. Your Honor, I don't
Again,
have any, go ahead.
there was well, and I don't want to get this misconstrued, but if I have to defend myself, there were over 2 years that my daughter was here, as to where there was nothing received nor anything asked for. Again, I send my daughter money upon her request. I send Mrs. Reinhardt money upon her request. So I can't give you a figure, but I can give you the receipts. And the receipts come with the dates.
And will those receipts say support of your minor child, her name?
I don't believe that they would.
So those are essentially just gifts, correct?
Pardon me?
Those are just gifts, though. You're not ordered to support, to pay support on
I
your
don't think a
child,
parent
correct?
should have to be ordered to support their child. I
Okay.
didn't ask for any of this.
Well, you actually did ask for it because you filed the motion, correct?
I filed a motion because my daughter went down there for the summer and was not returned. I'm a parent.
Your Honor, I don't have any further questions for Mr. Nelson.
Ms. Wright, could he obtain his printout from the app, the Cash app?
Yeah, he can, Judge, and he said that he could. I would gladly provide that. He
How
doesn't
long,
sound-
how long will it take to get that?
Robert, can you get me that in 10 days?
I was certainly doing my best. I
Huh?
will see if I can get them to send me a statement, but I mean, I have the receipts on my phone.
Yeah, just you could screenshot it, I think would work from your phone.
Not a problem.
Okay.
Okay. I think Ms. Fletcher would be more productive if he would send what he believes are payments he made. You obtain those, then you can question him and your client on the amounts in the receipt. And then the court can decide whether these were gifts, whether these were child support, or support of the child. Obviously, he didn't call them child support, but whether he was supporting the child or making a gift. But I need to see the receipts and hear the testimony from him and your client regarding those. Okay,
That works for us, Your Honor.
so we probably need to set this 10, about 2 weeks out. Is that sufficient time then for you to review them, Ms. Fletcher?
If he gets them to Miss Wright within the 10 days, Your Honor, I would think that we could do that.
Okay,
Shouldn't take too long.
so Jess, we're looking for something 2 to 3 weeks out to conclude the hearing.
Judge, you have 30 minutes on the 14th at 9:30.
Valentine's
Yeah.
Day.
Yeah, and that's all that week, really.
I have a mediation that morning.
The following week, Judge could do the morning of the 18th after 10:30.
That week is not a good week for me. I will probably not be in my office. Maybe
Okay.
Monday or Tuesday. What day did you say, Jessica?
Monday is a holiday for us, but Tuesday, the 18th, he has time at 10:30 or he has time that afternoon.
I could do Tuesday, but any other day that week I'm probably not going to be available.
I could do the 18th. You said 10:30?
Or he has time in the afternoon.
Yeah, I could do 10:30.
That works.
Why don't you just block 10:30 off to noon, Jess,
Okay.
on February 18th, 10:30 to noon.
Your Honor, is that related just to determining where we're at on the arrears?
Yeah, we've got what we need for the child support. And so that would be whether or not he gets credit towards the arrearage.
Got it.
And if so, how much? It looks like Miss Wright did the last journal entry, so it would be up to Miss Fletcher this time.
I can do that. Does the court want me to put in there that we've established the effective date of, or do you want us to put that in the final journal entry from the hearing after the 18th?
You can put it in now. There's no objection from the other side. The obligation starts November 2023. Prepare the worksheet, submit it to Ms. Wright, and if she's in agreement, then you've got the amount from November of 2023, and then we'll have to figure out, does he get credit towards the arrearage?
Okay.
Okay,
That works.
and we'll figure
Thank you, Your
that
Honor.
out on February 18th.
All right.
Okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else for the record today?
No,
Ms.
Your Honor.
Wright? Ms.
No.
Wright?
No,
And-
sir.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll see you then on the 18th.